So I'm filming anyway, so that's alright. So we've got the unit here. Basically you've got the drip trays. These are removable, so you can empty these down the sink and they catch any overflow or any drips or anything, and these just slide on and clip on the front like so. So it's very easy to put on and off. And when we clean the machine, we usually do it once a week, so once every 7 days is the perfect timing to pull it all apart, give it a clean, lubricate the seals and put it all back together again. So that's what I'm going to show you now. Basically what we would start by doing is every probably 3 to 6 weeks just check this filter on the side. If it's really filled up with dust, just give it a vacuum or a brush, or you can even rinse it under the sink, dry it out and then pop it back in there. That's something you only need to do every 4 to 6 weeks. But every week or every 7 days basically we need to clean the machine. So first thing we need to do is to remove the bowl. So if we start with this side, you just lift it up and make sure that this clears the front here, so where it clips into place. Usually I lift it up with one hand, and because it's quite a new machine, just give it a bit of a bash with the palm of your hand, and the whole bowl will come off like so. And then with some warm sudsy water, I'll just do it with this for demonstration purposes, with the chucks and some warm soapy water, just give it a rinse through, give it a thorough wash under the tap, and wipe it through, dry it out, and put it aside while we wash the rest of the machine. So we'll put that one aside at the moment. So this is the white spiral auger, so we usually give that a wipe if there's any leftover syrup or anything staining that. Just wipe that, and then the whole thing can be removed and washed under the sink once again. So you give this a thorough clean and put that one aside once you've cleaned it. And we've got the seals which we need to also clean. So first is the auger cup seal just here, and we remove that like so. Give that a wash, give it a clean, and also around the spiral spindle here. So we just give that clean there. And lastly, just at the back, we've got a removable seal for the bowl. So this prevents any leakage or any drips or anything coming out of the back of the bowl. So we give this a wipe and a clean, same in the same water. And then when we're putting it back together, we use a little bit of this Lubrifilm, so keep this in a safe place. Just a little bit on the finger, and you put that around the back here, all the way around, and an adequate amount on the front here. So we'll sort of put it all the way around the seal here at the front, and on the back of this little auger cup. So just put the rest on there, and then pop that back in. And then we've got the seal we removed from the back, so we just take that, put it back around, make sure it fits snugly from the bottom down to the top. It can be a bit slippery when it's being lubricated, as this one is. Goes on like so. And then you take the spiral auger that we've cleaned and just pop that back on and push that into place. So you want to sort of move it around until it goes right back, because if it's on a bit of an angle like that, it won't push all the way back. So you want to just move that until it you feel like pushing right back, so the bowl will go back on properly. And then we get the bowl and line it up, put it back on. So basically line it up with the seal at the back, and just sort of check that it's over the seal, and then line the auger up inside it, so sort of make sure that fits in the hole there, and then at the same time as pushing back, we push down, and it will lock into place like so. Just check here with the seal that there's no nicks in it or it's not twisted, because otherwise it will leak at the back. So it's got to be nice and straight and flat. You can see that's got a good seal there, and it's in position, that can't move. And now we're right to clean the tap assembly. So to do that, it's quite easy. We pull the pin out here, put that somewhere safe aside where you won't lose it, take the handle out, and then, because it's a bit stiff, it's quite new, so we just turn the handle upside down using this bit as a lever, and just push on that, and then the whole assembly will just come out like so. And then you'd wash this under the sink the same, and give it a wipe around if there's any syrup mix in there, give it a clean, do the whole thing, and then same with the Lubrifilm. These seals go up and down in there 100 times, so you just want to make sure that they move up and down easily. So to do that, we just put the lubricant around the middle grey seal and also around the bottom seal. So just on your finger, just coating all the way around there and all the way around there. And then while you've got that off, you can give it a clean in the spout here. Just make sure there's no syrup in there. And then you're right to line this up and put it back in. So what you want to do is make sure that the hole is facing forwards. And so we just line it up. Usually use one finger, push it up until you can see the hole appearing there, and then put the spring on top. Hold that with one finger, and then with your handle, just line it up, that little edge of the handle, and let it go into position there, and then put the pin back through. So basically, to show you again, so we just put the spring, you can do it either way, put that through, and then put the spring on, put the whole assembly in, push it up with one finger, get it into position, and then put that in, let it line up, and then put the pin back through. And then just test it, make sure it's going up and down easily in there, and that's it, that's cleaned. Clean the filter, and then all we have to do now is put the lids on, and they just sit on top, they don't lock in, they just sit nicely there, and then there's a little adapter here for the light, and that just plugs in at the back. Do it both sides. Put that on. And then what you would do is, in your instance, in this case, we put the mix in, all the liquids in there, we turn it on at the power point, so click it on here, make sure all the switches are up and in the on position. You should hear a slight click on each side as the compressor or the sensor comes on, and that'll start to freeze, and probably about, from standing start, about 45 to 90 minutes later, it's ready to use. Now you can adjust the amount of iciness or the freezing mechanism, and that's adjusted here at the back. So there's a little screw that sticks up on both sides, there's one on each side, and there's a little indicator behind listed from 1 to 4, 4 being extreme, which we never really put it on, 1 being the least icy. And if you turn, so basically if you're turning anti-clockwise, it goes down towards 4, and if you're turning clockwise, it comes up towards 1. So we usually set it for ideal situations, usually on about number 2 on both sides, and leave it running, and then it freezes up and it's ready to use. And 7 days later, you would start the cleaning process again. Best to top it up from empty, so wait until one tank is pretty much near empty. Follow the same ratio of mix you've always been using and pop it in. You can sort of top it up on a busy night as you're sort of halfway through, but you've got to be very careful then to get the ratio right. So you don't want to basically get an inconsistent mix, because you can overfreeze or underfreeze, so you've got to make sure that it's pretty much the same every time. And then to put it on cooling mode overnight, so we've got the switch on the bottom of each side that says cooling. So you flick these down to cooling and leave the augers, the spirals turning, and that will refrigerate all the mix overnight and keep it chilled, so it will last in there for 7 days. And then it's nice and fresh the next morning. You can come in, turn that back to freezing, and then it's right to go again. So that's all there is to it. Any questions? No, all pretty self-explanatory. Upstairs, guys also say some stuff down.
Oh, I see what you just. Yeah.
See the difference in. We'll test it. I'm not a big martini glass. Well, you can yeah, it's frozen as well. Like the.
Oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. I can do it in my screen.
If you need to reset the sensors or the unit is either over frozen or under frozen, first turn it off at the power, then turn all the switches on the side into the off position. Then adjust the torque at the back of the unit and you'll see a little screw sticking up which you can turn with your fingers, and you can move this either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Number 4 on the back is extreme and it's etched in the panel just here, and number 1 is the least icy. Usually run it on between 1 and 2. Adjust using this screw and then turn it on at the power point and slowly turn all the switches back up into the on position. That will reset the sensor and set it to the desired iciness.